Hello, I'm Jeff Hofmann, a former NASA astronaut, 5 flights on the space shuttle. Sorry I can't be with you here in Jerusalem. I'm back home in Boston, but I certainly wanted to give you a warm welcome to Yoav Kishi, the Minister of Education, and Meir Shimoni, the Director General of the Ministry of Education, but especially to the award-winning teams in the competition where you all developed ideas relating to this very interesting theme that you've had. At the time I'm recording this, we don't know who the winning teams will be, but that doesn't stop me from congratulating you because this has been a fascinating theme, the future, the heritage, and the entrepreneurship. And very relevant to my career in space. You may or may not know that on every one of my space flights, I've taken with me Jewish ceremonial objects, mezuzahs, attarot from Talisim, Kiddush cups, and so on. Why? What was my motivation? Well, for me, space always represented the future. Even growing up as a little boy, back before Sputnik was launched, before there were real astronauts, I followed science fiction. I mean, space was our future. And then I became an astronaut taking part in this incredible activity, and also thought about my Jewish heritage, which goes back thousands of years. And so the juxtaposition of our ancient Jewish heritage with the most modern activity of humanity going into space always fascinated me, and so that's why I felt it was significant to take something from my Jewish heritage along with me as I traveled on these futuristic space flights. And of course this culminated when, after a great deal of difficulty finding a Torah that was small enough that I could take it with me into space, our rabbi did get me one, which I took on my 5th and final space flight, and was able to perform a ceremony reading the Bereshit on Sabbath evening, as it turned out, in Houston, and it was Shabbat morning in Jerusalem. So it was just the right time, and for me that represented the continuity of the Jewish tradition. You know, Jews have always been a traveling people. We don't have to take a whole lot of things with us. You know, the prayer book, a Torah, something, and a few ceremonial objects. And you know, when we finally send people to Mars, and there's Jewish people on Mars, you know, we can take these objects with us, and if we ever get a minion there, could even you know, celebrate. I talk about Mars because I actually, since leaving the astronaut office, I've been working, doing research in space engineering and space science, and I was fortunate enough to be in charge of running the operations of the MOXIE experiment, which is on NASA's Mars 2020 Perseverance rover. And this was a demonstration that we can actually produce oxygen on the moon from local resources. We take the Mars atmosphere and we extract atmosphere from it. We take the Mars atmosphere and we extract oxygen from it. And this, again, leads into the future, because someday people will use this process when we finally do send people to Mars. And yet the heritage, which is thousands of years old, represented most strongly in the Torah, which I took, stays with us and is portable, and we can carry it with us. So the ethical precepts and practices behind Judaism are something that we can carry with us into the future. And I think that's what links these themes that you've been working with, the future, the heritage, and of course entrepreneurship is when you talk about spaceflight, the work it takes to get into space, and the fact that more and more private industry funded by entrepreneurship is getting us to the next stages of space travel. So I hope that this may inspire some of you who are technically inclined to continue this journey from the heritage of the past into the future, and maybe become spaceflight entrepreneurs yourself. Whatever it is, once again, congratulations to all the winning teams. I'm delighted to have been able to talk with you today, and certainly hope you have a wonderful meeting here. I wish I could be with you in person, but shalom.